What is going on, you guys? It's been a while since I've made a video, um, other than like a promo video. So I'll try to keep this a little short. Um, it's a little early. It's 5:28 in the morning. I'm sitting in my parking lot of my employer. I got here super early, so I figured I'd make a video. So please disregard some of the terrible lighting, things like that. But I want to give you guys an update about the food truck, um, especially the first 2 weeks. So we just finished our second week, um, and up and down, up and down. So we've had a few successful days. This past Sunday was not so successful. Um, Harbor Market, phenomenal. You guys were phenomenal towards us. Had a really great day, the best day we've had so far. Um, and then we followed it with the worst day we've ever had on Sunday. Um, so, and a lot of that has to do with labor. We're trying to figure out how, how, how to man the truck, how to do prep work, how to how to how to balance all of that while still being able to make money. So overall, in the first 2 weeks, we haven't turned a profit. I'm just being honest with you guys. I've been honest from the start. Why change that? So Saturday would have been the first time we broke even, um, but then Sunday happened, and then I lost money, and you never really want to lose money, which kind of preludes into what I'm going to talk about in a second. But there's a lot of work that goes into our 2 days that we run the food truck. So um, each week it takes about 20 hours of prep work just for those 2 days. So we make everything from scratch, all the marinades. We hand cut all the meat. Um, I'm hoping that in the near future I can get a meat slicer, which would really help with cutting the beef and the pork. If anyone has a good deal on a meat slicer, let me know. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think I spend at least 2-3 hours a week just cutting meat. We hand cut all the chicken. It's very time consuming, especially when you're talking about pounds of meat. So lots of prep work, and I've been paying the guys to do it. I'm gonna have to alter that because the labor is just way too high. Um, it's supposed to be around 33%. It's been at like 50 to 60%. So it's eating up all my profit. Um, which, and I say profit, I mean like revenue for the business. So, um, I'm going to be doing a lot of the prep work myself this week. Um, which kind of leads me into why I still work. So I do work a full-time job. Obviously, I'm here at my employer, sitting in the parking lot, and I have to do that because um, we're not making money. There's no loans for this. Nobody wants to touch a food truck in terms of lending, and it's because of what I'm talking about now. Food trucks take time to make money, and um, most food truck owners don't even want to get to this point. They would have folded by now. Um, I'm not a guy that quits. I guess that's part of being a veteran and being hard-headed at the same time. But if I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna fail miserably, and I'm gonna fail like I'm gonna fight tooth and nail to the end. So um, makes me a little different, but banks still don't care. So I'm bootstrapping this thing. Every spare dime and penny I have goes into the food truck, um, and then some. So so it's been a little rough. And so I have to work. Would I love to run the food truck full time? Absolutely. I love the food truck. Um, as stressful as it is, because I'm working between the two jobs, I'm putting in about 90 hours a week. I put more hours into the food truck than I do for my full time job, and I love I love working on the truck. It's a different type of stress. Plus, I don't have to deal with stuff like this. So I got injured at work last week. I was inside a machine. An employee decided to start up the machine while I was inside of it because, like a lot of companies, and I'm not trying to bash my employer. and you're not going to figure out who that is because I don't advertise that anywhere. Um, but a lot of companies these days, especially since the pandemic, have put production and productivity above all else. Um, and it often puts maintenance guys at risk, um, because safety guards are disengaged or turned off, and you're hiring people that probably aren't very qualified to run those machines, um, and they're being pushed to the brink to constantly keep the machines running, um, oftentimes at maintenance guys' safety. And um, I'm very lucky that this is just a really bad bone bruise because I had a robot fall down or crash down on my wrist. Um, and the doctor was amazed that nothing was broken. I actually had to see the doctor this morning. Um, so it crashed down on my wrist. Worst thing, I mean, when you're looking at your arm and there's a robot, a pneumatic robot, pinning your arm down against another piece of metal, causing an indentation in your arm and causing your fingers to go numb, um, your immediate thought is you're gonna lose your hand. And that's the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, what do I do if I lose this hand? Um, and a lot of and then waiting for waiting to see the doctor at the urgent care, and a lot of stuff's racing through your head, like, hey, like what are the worst case scenarios? And I kind of had an epiphany that this is my time as a maintenance technician. I've been doing this for 20 some years. Is probably coming to a close sooner than later. It's not, and it's because I'm just, um, I don't want to lose my hand. I don't want to lose an arm. I don't want to lose fingers. I'm destroying my body. I've destroyed my body for years. My knees, my back, my shoulders, elbows, hands. It takes a toll. So, um, I would love to do the food truck full time. I don't have to worry about robots taking out my hands, um, and it's something I love. I love serving you guys. I love seeing your smiles. I love seeing your comments about how much how much you love the food. I mean, that brings me so much joy. Just, I'm not gonna try to get emotional here. So it's early. I haven't had a lot of sleep. My coffee still hasn't kicked in. So never mind though the watery eyes. But um, so yeah, I work a ton. Um, we've got a lot of great things happening with the truck. Man, the amount of invitations we've gotten in the first 2 weeks for additional events has been incredible. We're filling up our calendar really fast. I just put up a post this morning. Um, if anybody's looking to hire us for an event, catering, um, work, work lunch, stuff like that, which I know that kind of conflicts with my full-time schedule, but I can make that work. Not every day or every week, but like if you have a wedding or if you have a birthday party, if you have some kind of a major event and you want us there, um, you know, email me. Really the video is to go after some questions and answer some questions. We've been getting a lot of questions at the food truck, at all the events, and it's just easier to make a video and hopefully most people see it. So the biggest question we've gotten is why we don't run the truck during the week, because everybody wants us everywhere. Especially like Kenosha Harbor Market. There was a guy that came up. He's like, dude, like if you ran this truck during the week in Kenosha, he's like, there's no like Korean restaurants down here. There's nothing really Korean down here. And he's like, obviously like he saw how busy we were. He's like, I think you guys would do amazing because we would take a lot of pride in doing everything from scratch. So I think people can taste the quality versus using store-bought marinades and things like that. So we don't run the truck because it's currently not profitable. And I need to work a full-time job to not only be able to pay for my expenses, but also help offset a lot of the costs with the truck. I subsidize the truck 100%. I don't have investors. I don't have loans. I can't even get a loan for this truck. Maybe soon because I can get maybe a revenue-based loan in the near future, but right now I got nothing. And scraping every penny. I mean, and when I say like we literally, it's just like literally, like as soon as we buy some, we sell something, that money goes right back into the truck. There's no spare anything. I'm not even paying myself right now. I'm just paying the guys. So I've been working about a month on this truck for free. And it takes a toll. Like I said, I'm averaging for the last 2 weeks, I'm averaging about 90 hours a week between the two jobs. I would love it if I could run the truck during the week. I think that would help us to become a full-time truck if we did another 2 days of selling, 3 days of selling in the right places. I really think we could. If somehow magically our GoFundMe just went berserk and I could quit my job and I can bring on Ethan full time, would be absolutely amazing. Do I think it'll happen? It hasn't. I've had the GoFundMe up for months. We don't have a single penny to our name. So, and I get it. People are struggling. I'm right there with you. I drive almost 45 minutes to work each way every day, and I just filled up my tank. It was $70 some. I get it. You know, why would you want to give what little money you have to a food truck when you've got to pay bills? I get it. I'm not shaming anybody. I get it. So, speaking of Ethan, we need to pause the video for a second. So if you don't know who Ethan is, so Ethan's going to hate me for doing this, by the way. But Ethan is the guy behind the scenes. He's my right hand dude. Like, his level of dedication to this company has been incredible. He's the guy on the truck that you will probably see glimpses of in the background. He's the guy doing all the cooking. So he cooks all the meat. He cooks all the egg rolls, all the fried chicken. He helps me prep. He does a lot of the prep. He's got a lot of great ideas. Great work ethic, positive attitude. So he's been a godsend for this company. It's very hard these days to find really good employees, and I really feel like I lucked out. So next time you visit the truck, say hi to Ethan. Tell him what an amazing job he's doing. I think he'll appreciate that. I appreciate him, and I would hopefully sooner than later, I would love to reward him with a full-time job, and as we get hopefully we can get the food truck to be full-time. So next question, will our menu change, or are there items that we're going to take off or add? We've already done that. So after this weekend, on Sunday I took off teobaki, and it's mainly because it wasn't selling. We had like 2 or 3 orders on Saturday, and we had a busy Saturday. We had like over 80 sales, and only less than a handful were teobaki, and it's very labor intensive. Teobaki is very labor intensive unless we make it in a giant batch, but we don't have the space on the truck to be able to make it in large batches. So it was something where we had to make it entirely from scratch, and the wait times were long, and it was taking up valuable space on our stove, and very expensive. So I decided to just take it off. Apologize to anyone that wanted it. It is what it is. So will we get rid of it forever? No. Could we bring it back as a special? Absolutely. And we're gonna tinker with the menu a little bit. We might do some specials on egg rolls. Once we get our feet under us, hopefully in the next couple weeks. We do want to experiment with some different flavors of egg rolls. We might do like a Korean soup one weekend. Probably more towards the fall when it gets cooler again. But we're gonna play around. The teobaki getting off probably won't be the last thing to get taken off the menu, and we might add some things. We added milk, multiple varieties of milkies over the weekend, and it's just trying to figure out what sells and what doesn't sell. So yes, it will continue to change. And then the next question is like, are there going to be any changes with the truck and people and staffing? So we've already had to make a change, unfortunately. I'm not going to get into it at all, but I had to let somebody go. We wish them nothing but the best. I'm not going to get into anything about that. But we are looking to bring in a cashier strictly for the Kenosha Harbor Market. Ethan and I, we're gonna run our Sundays. We're gonna run the Sundays just he and I, and see if we can run it just a 2-man truck. We should be able to, because typically the harbor market's crazy busy. You're talking thousands of people. We don't have thousands of people aren't coming to us on Sundays. So we should be able to manage that just with 2 people, and that would help me greatly with labor costs. So we're going to see how that works. We have interviews with a few people um, leading up to opening the market on Saturday. So yes, there are changes. Will we make additional changes? I have no idea. I hope like Ethan doesn't leave, um, because I kind of need him on the truck. There'll be some there'll be some subtle changes with the truck. Um, because there's a lot of stuff wrong with the truck. That's a whole nother story. I'm sure you could go look at some of my videos. That's a whole nightmare that I've been dealing with. And so some of the graphics are going to change hopefully in the near future, especially on the driver's side, which really doesn't get seen. And just some subtle changes. We need new equipment. Our little cooler, apparently it worked just enough for the inspection and just pooped out on us. Um, I believe it was going anyway, and we just didn't see it. So um, yeah, so we're down a fridge. I would love to replace a fridge, but we just don't have the funds to do so right now. So um, will we do any events outside of Racine and Kenosha? Because like 100% right now we're doing in Racine and Kenosha. So right now we currently do Saturdays at Kenosha Harbor Market. Sundays we've been at Mount Pleasant, Piggly Wiggly. However, we probably will change that up a little bit, especially not Saturdays. Saturdays we're locked in, at least during in the mornings till 2 o'clock. Sundays, with the drastic drop in sales on on Sunday, we are possibly looking at doing an alternating Sunday at Piggly Wiggly, and maybe either not running the truck or running the truck at a different location, preferably closer to our kitchen in Oak Creek. So maybe doing South Milwaukee or Cudahy, places that'll accept our current permit. We have a state permit, but not every city and town accepts. They accept a permit, but you would also have to pay for an additional permit. For example, City of Milwaukee requires you to have like a peddler's permit. Costs another $150. City of Racine requires a peddler's permit, costs another $200. All those permits add up. So right now, with the truck losing money, not being profitable, we just can't afford for that. We are looking at possibly doing stuff in Milwaukee once we can get the permit, but that might take a month or two. So yes, we do have events scheduled. We have a few events scheduled in Delavan, a few events scheduled in Pleasant Prairie, which is still technically kind of Kenosha area. It's right on the border. But then we also have a bunch of events coming up in Oak Creek. We have 3 for sure. I just got hit up yesterday for another 3 or 4 events. I did apply for them, waiting to hear back. We're looking to try to set up some things in South Milwaukee, Cudahy area. So yes, we do plan on doing some more. If we could run the truck full time. See, my coffee hasn't kicked in, so brain is working faster than my mouth. So if we can run the truck full time, yes, we would do more Milwaukee events. Unfortunately, we got turned down for Milwaukee night markets. I think it's more about who you know than anything. Unfortunately, I have some bad experiences with at least one person on that board, so I don't know if that affected anything. But I mean, it's it's their business, it's their prerogative, and I would hope that enough customers would maybe contact them and say, hey, like, this is an up and coming truck, like, we deserve to be there. But I mean, it is what it is. It sucks because it's a major event. It would be the biggest money making event we would do for the year, and we had only applied for like 3 events out of the 6 or 7 that they were advertising, and we didn't get a pick for a single one. Same thing with Sundays at the deer market. We got passed over for that. Once again, I think it's about who you know. So it is what it is. It kind of sucks. So we're kind of just doing it on our own, and me being a slightly I don't know. I remember stuff. I remember I'll remember the people that backed us, that supported us. And I'll remember the people that didn't give us a shot at all. And hopefully, when we become successful, that's gonna also determine who I support um, with the truck and events. And I'm always gonna align myself with the people that really worked with us and gave us a shot um, and were there for us. And so loyalty matters. It matters to me. So um, going to our last question, do we do private events? Are we doing any charity events? We actually were asked to do a charity event yesterday. We've agreed to do it. I believe it's in June in South Milwaukee. It would be at the South Milwaukee Commons. I don't have the information directly in front of me. I'm holding a camera, so I can't look on my phone. But yes, um, we will be doing. We do private events. We do charity events. So we try. We'll try to help out as much as possible. Once again, we're not a wealthy truck. I am not wealthy by any stretch of the imagination. I'm far from wealthy. So it has to make sense financially for us, for me. Um, so yes, overall, yes, we do private events. Um, we, there are potential minimums for charity events. It's a little different. I'm not requiring a minimum, um, but for a private event, if you were trying to have like a birthday party or if you were trying to do something, there are minimums you would have to reach, because not only do I have to make enough money to break even for labor, there's all that prep time and things like that, gas and the generator and paying for all that. So I have to make sure that we're at least going to break even. So if I know maybe some of you have asked, like, how can you help? We have an Amazon wish list on our website. You can also make a donation, and then also get an e-gift card in exchange. Basically, you're paying for an e-gift card, and you're kind of prepaying for one, but then you also get like more than what you're donating. So that your donation is you buy an e-gift card for. So let's say you donate $100. I believe you get like 140 or 150 bucks back in the e-gift card. Um, so just helping each other out. There's more information on our website. It's sweetsoulfood.com. So it's Seoul as an Seoul, like the capital of South Korea. So it's sweetsoulfood.com. We have all of our events. I will be uploading our new events over on there pretty soon. Um, Maybe even this evening or tomorrow, as we finalize some events. And yeah, we're going from there. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, say hi to us at our various markets, and we'll see you guys soon. You guys have a great day.